At some point in your reading of literature, you will stop and ask yourself two very important questions. What does it all mean? What is the point? When we ask these questions, we are wondering about the theme. In the rest of this presentation, we will talk about finding the theme in literary works. So we ask ourselves the question, what does it mean? The theme expresses the essential meaning of a work of fiction. The theme is the general idea that the author wanted to get through to his readers. As we learned, themes are essential to understanding the meaning of a work. In rare instances, the themes are very obvious. This occurs most frequently in fables or fairy tales. Let's take an example with the story of the two crabs. One day, two crabs came out from their home to take a stroll on the sand. "Child," said the mother, "you are walking very ungracefully. You should accustom yourself to walking straight forward." "Mother," said the young one, "set the example yourself, and I will follow you." So the old crab tried and tried to walk straight forward. But she could walk only sideways, like her child. And when she wanted to turn her toes out, she tripped and fell on her nose. So, what is the moral of the story? Do not tell others how to act unless you can set a good example. So that's just a very quick and easy way to show through dialogue a story that has a very obvious moral. Unfortunately, in good literature, it takes a little bit more thought to come up with the themes, which we will talk about in the next few slides. The reader, in order to come up with a theme, often needs to look at each of the elements that make up a work of fiction to figure out the theme, which will most likely be implied. Figuring out the theme usually takes some thought and perhaps even a second or third reading of the text. Even after all of this consideration, it is entirely possible that different readers may come up with completely different themes for the same work. This leads us to the next topic we need to consider when talking about themes. Does a work have only one theme, or can it have multiple themes? Some people refer to a single theme, while others feel that most good works of fiction contain more than one main point. So you may find themes and sub-themes within the same work. Although a work may contain multiple ideas, usually one idea stands out as the most important theme. So to review, a theme can be any idea that a work conveys. And as we mentioned earlier, most good literary works can have multiple themes. Some people use the word theme in a broad sense to refer to a topic or a subject of a work. This is often expressed as a phrase such as the wisdom of youth or the loss of innocence. Sometimes the phrase is shortened to a single word, such as loss, youth, love, beauty, peace. This is a good way to begin when you are first trying to figure out a theme, but you should not stop there. You need to go one step farther and put the word into an idea that is being expressed in the work. When you do this, You want to make sure that you don't end up with a generic statement that does not really relate to the work you are reading. You should come up with a general insight that is illustrated through the characters, the plot, or the setting. In some stories, the theme may take the form of a moral. This is a rule of conduct or a maxim for living. However, most themes are general observations or insights about how humans behave or about how life is, instead of a black and white statement about how life should be. It is usually better to express a theme as a statement rather than as a command. The theme is an abstraction. It's an abstraction from a story, and it is an integral part of the meaning of that work. Themes are important because we can relate them to our own lives and get a meaning from the fiction. We really don't want to ask, what does this story teach? Rather, we want to ask, what does this story reveal? Learning to decipher themes takes practice. Don't be afraid to use the internet to help you if you are having problems understanding a work. There are many different literary analyses you can read online to help you discover the meaning in any work of fiction.